Let me just tweet out real quick. Dota.
So everyone in the chat, do you guys all play Dota now, or do most of you have you given up on MOBAs after the death of HOTS?
That's a good question,
actually. Yeah, guys. Well, what's the answer? I feel like there's a decent number of them that are mainly like they'll still play HOTS and just kind of chill.
Oh, it's not. I thought it was gone. Like it's not gone.
No, it's not gone. It's still a game, but basically they pulled the devs, they killed the esports scenes. Like it's still a thing, but
Okay. I see.
there's just no future. Is the premise? It's like on life support.
Gotcha.
Mike, hey.
All right,
Oh, man, the last hits denies tab.
Yeah, I'll take it off. But
No, leave it on. Actually, I wanna see it.
Leshrac is one of the hardest heroes to last it with in Dota, in my opinion. Horrible base damage, horrible animation. But first off, starting items, I recommend you go for something that allows you to sustain the lane. So the typical build I'll go for every single game I'm an offlaner, like specifically a ranged offlaner, is 2 sets of tangos, so 6 tangos, a salve, 2 mangoes, 2 branches, and a fairy fire. Now you can change the two mangoes for 2 fairy fires, but the main premise is that you have 6 tangos, a salve, 2 branches, and then 3 of like either mangoes or fairy fires, and that's like a really good way to just have a nice mix of stats and regen.
Gotcha. Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Because basically what this build means is that if you're out of mana, you're out of mana, and if you get bursted or get gone on, there's no way for you to regen quickly. So it puts you, like, good players will recognize this type of stuff and potentially abuse it, especially against a hero like Lesh, who can't buy a stout shield.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So basically, what do you think is your power spike in this lane? Like typically, when are you strongest or hit a spike?
I mean, so we're into PA Abaddon, so I feel like we generally can play pretty aggro on them, just because Abaddon doesn't really have any kill pressure. But like the big power spike would probably be 3. I feel like once Graham gets all his abilities.
Yeah, it's definitely 3. Also, Edict gets much better at level 3, like significantly better. So, yeah, your main goal right here is just to go for denies and last hits. Nothing really crazy there. The only thing I would most likely am going to comment on is stunning for range creeps. Good thing you did it.
Hey,
no need to comment on. Yeah, so this is pretty good so far. Basically, whenever you're playing Grimstroke, it's crucial that you use creep aggro, because the only thing you care about is like not getting denied. All right, this is pretty good so far. So yeah, sometimes there's not much to talk about, especially in this early lane, but usually the main, I mean, your mechanics are probably pretty good, right, because you've played MOBAs competitively. But okay, first off, here, I would consider dragging it over and not under tower. So the reason why is if you feel like you're stronger at any situation and your support side pulls, you should drag the wave to the side pull. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. I did it later on, and I was unsure what the correct...
Yeah. So basically,
that's really good to know because I wasn't sure. So like generally, so it's good to pull over if we're stronger.
Yeah, exactly. That's the premise of side pulling. The majority of the time, you can use it if you're in an awful lane. You can use it to just get a free wave under your tower, kind of like you're doing now. But in an even or winning lane, specifically winning lanes, you want to pull the wave over and basically fight here, right? Because the problem is people will pick winning lanes and never be able to pressure under tower. So you side pull and make the lane equilibrium at this camp. So yeah, basically when you want to side pull when you have advantage.
And then we just fight over the camp and we
exactly.
Push them out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. Okay.
So like here, for instance, it's not like this just isn't that great for you because now a wave is going to push into PA. I mean, actually, she's making a huge mistake. So you're going to be able to get a deny off this. Looks like the Abbas pinging it out. He realizes. Yeah, so it kind of worked out for you, but that's the main premise of side pulling.
Yeah, no, that's good to know. Thank you, because I'm not necessarily sure when or like what the purpose is. So those kind of things are super nice.
Yeah, your last inning's pretty good right now. This is fine to what you're doing. In some lanes, let's say you're laning with like a Sven or something that has a reliable setup for your stun, and you can pressure. Then you want to take Edict if you have a little bit more kill potential or dive potential. Even in this lane in particular, you could like put the second point in Edict and just use it to get tower damage. Because
Well, I think the second point Edict is better because I could have like popped it right here and pushed tower.
yeah, it's just solid, especially in a lane like this. PA ABBA are two of the biggest stick feeders in the game. So basically, you know, especially if you were to go the mango build, you're gonna have plenty of mana. And then it's just some nice damage on the tower, some nice harass. The stun is okay, it's all right, but it doesn't scale nearly as well as Edict.
Yeah, I agree. So I think here I might pull it.
Yeah, so this is okay. Yeah, this is pretty good. Also, yeah, the advantages of level 2 Edict is that it's much better for fighting inside pull. So this isn't too bad. Never pop your stick like that. That's not good.
If it's a 10.
Yeah, you want to be able to use it to turn fights for the most part. There's rarely a situation where you're just gonna like use it to gain 150 HP. You know what I mean? You gain no mana from it, and I know you're gonna get full charge again pretty soon. But then what I'd recommend if you want to use it at all, because
Like aggro trade first.
yeah, so throw out some stuns or just pop Edict or something like that. It's just not really a good idea to use stick like that. It's pros abuse one in the laning stage. Like if they're against the lane like PA ABBA, they're gonna make sure they use it to really like win a fight or win a trade.
That makes sense, yeah. Like aggro trade with it.
Exactly. It's such a broken item that a lot of people don't buy. So don't just kind of waste it like that. It's okay in minute situations to do that, but for the most part, not really. Also, it's hard to Edict so far, but especially when you hit level 3 Edict, you want to start looking to pressure the tower a little bit. I mean, typically your spike is ult. That's okay. But the only problem with this Edict is now you might not have it for this upcoming tower. So basically, a big thing for Leshrac in crushing lanes or like lanes where they threaten no kill potential is just using Edict for the tower. So actually, you're going to get it here, which you should pop. Yeah, this is good. You've actually played this lane quite well so far, to be straight. I was expecting to rip you apart, but
That's good to know because I haven't played Lesh 3. This is my first time. I watched Monkeys Forever play it yesterday, so like I had a pretty good understanding of what I wanted to do. So.
Sure, this is a turn potential for sure. I watched a lot of the stream. I was like, I play a ton of Lesh 3, and like this hero has the giga turn potential, especially with the stick, which is what I'm talking about. Basically, when you hit level 5 here, you should level this and man up, like 100%. Especially with these Grimstroke spells. I know you don't know the damage variables because you don't play it, but like you easily could have turned even earlier than that. I mean, this spell is if they're not on a creep wave, you basically always turn. That's the thing about Edict. If you can catch someone off a creep wave, you go. Like this spell is so much damage, if off a creep wave.
That makes
so
sense.
Once again, don't pop stick like that. You know what I mean? Like basically, you're making their game easy to know if they can kill you or not, and not only that, you're not going to get any bait situations. Like if I'm playing Leshrac and I feel like I'm at an advantage here, I'd rather even my HP to be lower so they think they can kill me. You're kind of giving up some kill potential essentially by
Well, like bait potential, like getting him to go on me and then I can
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, this is okay. I mean, when you hit 6 in this lane, you should be diving endlessly, which was one of your biggest mistakes. That's when we'll start talking a lot. Because when you hit 6, that's when I kind of started watching the stream, and you just weren't going. The thing about Lesh, when you hit an advantage like that, is you need to abuse it giga hard, because you just never have to tank the tower, because you don't have to auto-attack, but we'll talk that when it comes up.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for doing this, by the way. I really appreciate it. I'm learning a lot. I like learning.
Learning's fun. Okay, here you need to turn on your W faster and man up. Like you could kill them here, no joke. Honestly, like you could potentially kill them.
Yeah, I think we turned, but I agree. I could have done it sooner.
Yeah. I mean, that's you just not knowing the hero, which is fine, but it's unfortunate. Nice. Okay, I mean that wasn't so bad. Just a slight under. I mean, if you played Lesh more, you'd probably know. So, I guess I can't blame you too much, right? Okay, after this.
No, I mean, it's not blame. It's just facts, right? Like, you should point out no matter whether I played the hero or not. I want you to point it out.
For sure. So now, when you're about to hit 6 here off this wave, you should be going like Giga Aggro. Also, I would. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say take care of yourself. Yeah, I can tell you definitely have good mechanics from other games, because a lot of these things people wouldn't. They just like take too long on. Okay, so you get ganked by Doom. Yeah, even here, I would turn on my Edict and stuff.
Yeah, 'cause it'd be a lot of trade damage if like there were TPs coming
Yeah,
in.
basically you could have potentially turned this actually, like as crazy it might sound. Right here, you have like a slight gap when they doom your Grimstroke for whatever reason. Like this guy just burns doom on Grimstroke. You should pop Edict and run at this PA. Like basically, if anyone's ever ISO'd, keep this in your mind. And you're Leshrac, you just want to run at them, especially a weak hero like PA. She does barely no damage. And you're level 6, so you should have just popped your W and ran at PA or ran at the supports. Like you shred them right now. Doom, he has too much HP for you to really kill him, unless you have some backup. But you kind of run together and make their lives easier. Now you're gonna get hit by Scorched Earth, and PA is taking no damage. So yeah, I would have at least gone for the trade. So then if you respawn, after you die, then PA will have no HP and not be able to farm.
Yeah, that makes sense a lot.
Like, you don't want to just like go out and die like that. I mean, if you can disengage, but your best bet was to run at the PA. Like you need to play more aggressive. Essentially, if you're playing Lesh in the off lane, I would really try to test your limits on this hero. There's so much turn potential, especially in pubs when people are disoriented or disorganized in their ganks. That's when this hero is strong. So yeah, at this point, I mean, your build's good. I like that you have stats. I think this is the way to go on Lesh. So here you need to. It's okay not to nuke it. All right, whatever you do anyway, that's fine. Here you need to run at this guy. Like, I don't even. Okay, do they have Doom? No. Like you need to dive this guy. Like period. He is so weak compared to you. It's not even close. Like you bought a lot of stats, which is good in my opinion. But you need to play as if you bought all these stats. So basically, you should pop your ult and run at this guy. Which you sort of do. Okay, you're overestimating this spell, which I kind of understand. If you don't really know exactly how much damage it's gonna do, I don't. You know what? Do you understand ET? Because a lot of people don't really pick this hero.
I don't. But I mean, it's fine. Like I'm overestimating this cell. That's good to know. Where just like it doesn't do that much damage. Or
this guy, yeah, he doesn't do that much damage. He just puts you to sleep. Like that's it. I mean, if he bops you with this thing, it does quite a bit of damage. But with an Inkswell and a Stroke of Fate, they can't fight you like whatsoever. You should be running into them essentially here, and you kind of burned a lot of your Edict timing, which makes you somewhat weak now. But basically, whenever you're against like any Agi carry that isn't like Jug, even Jug honestly, and you hit 6 before they do, you should be just booking it at them. Like if you hit 6 before the carry, you should basically run at them. Like right here, you need to be running at this guy. Like period, just run at him with your ultimate on. Because you don't have to.
Cause I was wondering, because like, so my thought, which was wrong, was like the main objective is to try and get the tower, but you think here it should just be just fucking with the PA?
Yeah, fuck with the PA. Like this tower means.
Like it's gonna die regardless at some point. Like it's gonna, like, if I zone him out, it's a guaranteed dead tower.
Exactly.
So zoning him out should be priority.
You are so strong right now. Like Lesh is if you have a good start, the way to shut down Lesh, in my opinion, is to burn his good start. Because if this hero has a good start, he's super scary. So you need to just like giga run at these guys and not burn your Edict duration. Like Edict basically means if you have Edict on. It basically means that they can't go on you, because if you get gone on, you turn on your ult and you kill the creep wave as fast as possible, so then that Edict just shreds people. Because it basically kills heroes from full. So here you should run at them again. Like, I don't know where you're going, but like you need to play more aggressive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stand there. Like this guy leaves, and like you guys could have just killed him, you know what I mean? Like I remember you saying that in stream, you're like, oh, I left, my bad, but and then you try to take this stack, but this is just a waste of your time. Like, not only this, you shouldn't really take a stack if a hero's about to contest, because you're going to have to commit too many resources for it, and not have it for fighting. Yeah, this just, like, isn't that worth it. You have to commit your stun. Honestly, even here, you can run at them. Like, potentially run at them. If you don't have a...
Grim's going to be up in TP.
Yeah, and not only that, this spell is just, like, so much damage. Like, right here, I think you turn it on and realize... Like, look at his HP. It just, like, evaporates.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's just straight up 50%.
Yeah, that was like not even about a fourth of the duration is half his HP. See what I'm saying? So if people are ISO'd, you turn. Period.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's crazy.
Like here, you have Edict on. You could probably turn if you're not wasting your stun. The problem is you're committing stun and you're giving up your ability to turn. For creeps. Like if you just run in here and stun, there's actually almost no way they man up, which you kind of figure out later on, and then. Slightly early wand again. I know this will take you a lot of experience about like knowing exactly how much damage heroes do. That's kind of just playing the game a lot. But all your wands are just... They don't really play to win the lane. They play to like do all
They play
right.
for sustain.
Yeah.
No, I
You,
do.
you,
it for
you need to play to
sustain a lot.
dumpster these
It's not
kids.
good.
Like even here, you should probably kill him. I remember this. I was like, oh no, you need to stun out of vision here.
Yeah, I accidentally walked into vision. I didn't think he could see me here, but
But even if you
Really?
don't, like, you need to turn on your ult first off. Like if you're just, I mean, I know you didn't mean to walk in vision, I guess, but even here you could potentially run him down. I guess he went phase boot, so it's hard.
Just still chasing him.
Yeah,
that,
you're-
I guess that makes sense. You just yeah.
You just run at people, and like here, where are you going? Like this is not good. This is really bad. If you're Lesh, for most offlaners, you're gonna play as if you're a safe laner. It's actually very similar in my opinion. You stay in your lane for as long as possible. Like, don't do this type of roam gank because if it fails or you die, your whole game is just garbage then, or like very hard compared to what it
Yeah.
should be. You need to be running at PA so she doesn't farm and so your farm stays up. Leshrac is a hero that needs items and so is PA. So if you can push her off the wave, you're not only helping yourself but shutting down her objective as well. And she's very weak compared to you once again. Like, it's just not a strong hero early on relative to Leshrac. It's just not even close, especially with the build you went. Because you walk all the way bottom, but for what? Like, what's your objective
I
here?
didn't do anything. I literally TP back top.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like, oh, I should be pushing tier 1s, but I don't. Think
Yeah, a
that's
very
necessarily-
common play I would make with my like semi-pro team was when I was playing Lesh, we'd have like Lesh Sven and we'd wrap on mid tower. But what is the benefit of wrapping through, or like pushing in top and then wrapping through here?
Compared to what I did, or just in
Yeah,
general?
compared to the route you took to take the tier
Well,
1.
it's more aggro, so it forces them to play back and play scared.
Yeah,
versus me just running safe to bottom, which doesn't push out waves or pressure.
Exactly. It doesn't keep your farm up, but more importantly, you're not going to be able to catch people isolated if you run straight up to them. Once again, the strength of Leshrac is catching people alone with your W. So if you're walking around their jungle, like there's no creep waves. Like sure, I mean, I guess there's a creep camp, you know what I mean? But if you run at someone under tower, you're going to split the damage with the tower, with the creep wave, and your W doesn't do that much damage. If you're fighting in the jungle, you just shred everyone, like period.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you kind of want to you want to keep pushing in top, and then if you want to make a play, basically the only play I would recommend is to never TP bot and just run and look through this area. Like,
Gotcha.
don't necessarily take jungle camps because you don't have the mana for it, but then like you can even sneak in here and kill the tower if you stand in this area, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I've seen pros do that where they hide.
Yep. That's pretty good. So at this point now you're just out of mana,
Yeah, we overdive here.
and
We should just back up when we go into shrine.
yeah, I mean this isn't. Yeah, I mean that was obviously not good, but this all stems from you just like trying to do too much. Just don't try to do too much. Basically, win your lane and keep winning your lane is like the easiest way to play a hero like Lesh. Most offlaners at that. So I mean, honestly, we can cut it off there. The only thing I really want to say from then on is late game your item build is just not that good,
Yeah.
which is probably just you not knowing the hero, I would imagine.
Well, someone pinged out Lotus after, and I was like, I should have just gone Lotus before Lincoln's. Like, Lincoln's was kind of a waste. I was gonna go Soulstone, but or
Bloodstone, you
but that's not good.
Yeah, it's not that good. So basically, the things you build on Lesh are typically mobility or defensive items, and Lincoln's is just so underwhelming. Even Lotus Orb is not that good because essentially you're still gonna get Sanking stunned and die to a PA, or you're still gonna get stomped, still gonna get doomed, potentially, or like just run down by a Scorched Earth. The Lotus is okay, but you need items like BKB, Yules, Glimmer, Ghost Scepter. These are my favorite items on Lesh. Any of these like defensive items that just keep you going in a fight. Lincoln's means nothing. You still take full damage from every magical spell. You block one spell, which is potentially a dagger or a mist coil.
Yeah.
It's just a very underwhelming item. Essentially never buy Lincoln's on almost any hero. I think the item's pretty trash. Like on this guy, like this guy buying Lincoln's is essentially saying for him, if it gets popped, I die to everything. Like that's just not that good. It's very underwhelming. Basically always buy BKB over Lincoln's, in my opinion. There are very few exceptions where this isn't true. BKB is just so much more reliable, and going something like Ghost Scepter Yules makes it where PA basically can't kill you, and you can kind of run at her, right? Because if you pop all your spells and run at her, and she jumps you, you burn almost her full BKB duration in Ghost Scepter, or like half, depending on how long it is, of course. And then you burn the rest of it with Yules, and then essentially you've done your job. Something like that. And if you have BKB, you can do that even more effectively. But essentially, in order to scale with this hero, you need to shove lanes and never make those like type of rotations, unless you know for sure you're getting the tower, right? Like that's why you need to flank, because you have to commit for the tower if you're gonna make a rotation like that, like force a fight type of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Never run around on your side of the map like that. It's just so hard to do anything, and it will never get you any farm or make you any big plays. So yeah, let's end that there.
Yeah, thank you. No, that was super helpful. I like watching it with you. I agree. I was not playing aggro at all, and I should have been.
For sure. That's somewhat just feeling the hero. You know, you eventually get the feel of it, and you'd be more willing to make these big plays. But
well, I would be curious to hear your thoughts as far as like, because like my thought process going into it is like, okay, like my hero really wants to group up and push down towers, and I think maybe in competitive that'd be more
actually
of a thing. But
not really.
You don't really think so? You think it's trying to just like dominate a lane and like fuck
no?
with their
So
core?
actually, what Leshrac is known for, it's kind of like a meme almost. It's like running down lanes. You basically just like book it down lanes for the first 20, 35 minutes, like, and if they respond to you, you get like half the tower and 3-4 creep waves. Maybe they kill you. Often you can get return kills because of the nature of your hero, and you just split push so effectively. Like for an int hero, I'm not saying you never want to group up and take towers. The thing is, in team fights in the early game, your hero's like often kind of weak because you don't have that high of HP, and you need to really be in the fight to do damage. So it's better if you can split the team up, like the enemy team. Because once again,
it's not a full 5v5. It's like a 2v2.
Exactly, you're super good in 2v2s. Yeah, I had this like great clip in NDCL where I got dove by 3 heroes. I popped my W, popped my ult, popped my stun, and I got a triple kill. Because like that's just the nature of Lesh. If people overcommit on you, they just slowly get chipped down, and your W works out of vision, and when you're dead, like it keeps going. So always try to like ISO and split push. That's the easiest way to play. Like there's some merit to grouping up, but the easiest way and the most reliable, especially in solo queue, is to split push.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Because I definitely think my logic going into the game was flawed. So it's good to know. Just like play aggro, just like basically take over their aggro side of the map as yours.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
And if they respond, then your team gets formed. That makes sense.
Exactly. All right. Did you want to do a carry game?
Yeah, you could do that Naga one. I think. Yeah, I played that last night. The Naga one would probably be decent.
Where?
Is Speed on a team? Speed, are you on a team currently, or?
I am not. I don't play competitively too much anymore. I won't go into the story, but I've been taking a lot of. I'll put it simply. I like doing content a lot and teaching people. So.
Yeah, I mean, so you can just kind of shout it because you've been doing. What's the YouTube channel that you like? He actually has really good YouTube videos that I really like. Like I've watched like a decent. I'd probably say like 3 or 4 and like learned a lot from all of them. What is the website you do it for? The
Game Leap.
Game Leap, yeah, Game Leap. So if you guys want more content from him, Game Leap, super good.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
Yeah, because he was just asking. He said Rex Smith said your name looked familiar. I'm just curious, like if you want to list like the most recent team or like most notable team.
They didn't even really have names. I think it was called like ABC 123 was the most recent one. We played in NADCL. I played with Sheer, who else? Yamson, Kevin. I don't know. Maybe you know me from there if you saw me playing, but that's maybe pubs as well. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe that's it. All right. Because I think this game was pretty back and forth.
Failure downloading replay file. That's unfortunate. What about the jug replay?
We could do. I'd prefer to do like one of like the illusion heroes. We can do the jug one.
Okay,
too,
I'm just gonna download it, see if it even works, because I don't. It seems like there's some sort of a bug.
And I wonder if it's on a different patch. Is that a thing that'll fuck with replays, or I don't know how Dota is.
Maybe. I actually don't know.
That was the thing with HOTS. If your replay is on a different one, but Dota drops so many patches that like I don't know if that'd be a thing.
Yeah, I don't think so. But this is maybe. What if I'm gonna check my own because.
Yeah, he's high immortal, guys. So like you've probably seen him in streams and things like that.
Oh, this looks bugged, yeah. Maybe that is what it is. Different patch.
Could
could just play a carry game real quick.
Yeah, maybe we can meet back up later, but unfortunately it seems like...
I wonder if... I'll try downloading my game, see if it works.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked like it let me download the replay.
I'm gonna restart Dota. See if that helps.
Okay. Yeah, maybe that'll do it.
I'll be right back. I'm running to the restroom real quick.
So I'm gonna open up chat. See if you guys are saying anything. Alright, hopefully these replays work. Because I know he is primarily a carry player, so this would be a lot more useful. But... it seems like it's working. Or not.
Did it let you download the file?
It's still going. It's like 3/4 the way there.
Okay.
Now it's like 8/10, 9/10. We'll see. Drum roll.
Yeah, no, I just was moving my mic. Yeah, because I'd love to see like a Naga game, just because I'm really trying to improve on that hero.
Been playing him for playing her for maybe like a week and a half.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay, it's decompressing. Pretty good.
Yeah, good. Did you play carry at all, or what role did you play in competitive?
Actually, carry's my least played role, to be honest.
Okay.
I've coached a lot of it because it's, I don't know, not necessarily popular, but yeah. I played primarily 3 on my most recent teams. In the past, I was a big mid player, so on my earlier teams, I played a lot of mid. I've played basically everything besides carry. I've even played carry against EG. As crazy as it sounds, I played one qualifier where I played carry for a team, and we made yeah, so basically everything, but my main role recently has been offlane, and in the past it was support and mid.
Gotcha. So which one's your favorite? Like, do you prefer 3 the most, or just...
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of just goes, like, some months I like playing one role, and then it gets a little stale, like if you really practice it so much, so... I would say my favorite is probably 3 and mid.
Okay.
I would say.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Is that because you like to brawl, or?
Yeah, I like to fight. Same thing for support. I like supporting as well. Just depends on the meta. This meta, awesome for supporting. Like, fantastic.
Yeah, there's some weird shit going on with the lanes. I don't know. My Abaddon wanted to be top. Oh yeah, I'm versus Razor. I hate this lane.
Yeah, it's not so good. I mean, you should basically crush him when his link is down. That's kind of the only advantage. But okay, the main thing about this lane is how you use your illusions. What's very important in the early, oh boy, is getting CS and denies with illusions. So. Alright, your last thing's pretty good. Yeah, this creep aggro is solid. The main thing about illusions is that you always want to use them to deny, like, in one hit. So here, for instance, I would be looking to deny this creep. My illusions are about to run out, and you could have tried to aggro deny that creep from a pretty high HP pool.
Gotcha, because it's just a lot of damage.
It's very important to do that. So I play a lot of Nature's Prophet, and he's the same way, where you kind of group up your treants. You want to surround the creep with your illusions or your treants, and then hit it all at the same time, and like basically burst deny the creep. That's your advantage in the laning stage. Also, from what I've been told, taking this spell is better.
Mirror image is better than.
Yeah, the 5-second cooldown. I mean, this scales pretty well, but the 5-second cooldown and more illusion damage allows you to deny more effectively and have it up more, which is kind of what the basis of your laning stage rides on. You're not necessarily playing to like Riptide people. You're playing more so to get all the last hits with mirror images or get denies of mirror images. So that's why you would want to take points in illusions. It's just kind of, it aligns with what you want to do in the laning stage or should be trying to do.
Yeah, that makes sense. I also was wondering, I think maybe I should have gone boots first before the Wraith ban so I can run out the link. I don't know, what do you think?
I don't think it matters that much. I would say it's fine, but what's more important is your usage of creep aggro rather than either of those items. I would say the boots is good, but what's more important against Razor's creep aggro? Also, you need to pay a little bit more attention to range creeps. Even if you're sending your illusions for them, there's like 2 or 3 times in this lane where you basically almost gave him a free deny or gave him a deny on range creeps, and you just don't want to do that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so always send your illusions to try to secure that at the least.
Yeah, it's crazy. I found out like a month ago or like 2 weeks ago that I didn't know range creeps gave more experience and like more
yeah,
gold.
It used to
I
be
thought it was like just a little bit more gold, but it's a lot. I was reading the wiki because I was figuring out about like Midas's, like what creeps are priority to Midas, and it's wild.
Yeah, it is a big deal. Okay. I think they even made range creeps less, if I'm not mistaken, from what they used to be. But it's still more about the principle that they're often more denied than melee creeps because they're separated, and creep aggro draws melee creeps onto them. So, I mean, the XP matters, obviously, but it's more so about the fact that, like, it's very common to see the range creeps getting denied. So you always want to just pay attention to it a little bit more. So, I mean, there's nothing too much you can do here. I mean, creep aggro is basically your only goal. Not much for me to say, rather than you need to focus slightly on more denies in this lane. Like, you could have gotten a lot more. Razor is a hero that it doesn't have good last hitting if he doesn't have the link. Obviously, that's kind of a weird thing for me to say, right? Because, like, now, obviously, the damage swing is in his favor by quite a bit.
Is it a pretty big difference, like a time difference where he doesn't have the link?
Yeah, it's fairly. It actually used to be nearly 100% uptime in the past, but now at level 1 there's a 22-second downtime.
Well, because
yeah,
he still has damage, right? So link duration is 8 seconds, and then buff duration.
Yeah, but it's still 22 seconds, I believe, right at level 1.
Gotcha.
I don't think that Does the link and the buff, are they separate? So I don't really know, to be honest. If I don't know if it's 26 or 18 altogether. Regardless, there is a slight downtime that you kind of want to abuse to get denies in that duration. So it's something to consider for sure against Racer. Also, you guys definitely shouldn't be tri-laning, to be honest. Like, Willow should be top and Abba should be. Well, maybe Abba could be top, Willow bottom. Regardless. I think you guys started with the tri-lane. You never start with tri-lanes with Abba, basically. It's kind of useless. The hero prefers dual lanes. So, whenever I see a Naga hit level like 4, 5, or 6, this is the point in the lane where I really want to start considering giving my support either lane, if I can't take it, or starting to take jungle camps. So, you guys even could pressure Razor a little bit more than you are. Like, this Willow probably should be playing slightly more aggro, but basically, whenever you aren't linked and it's on the downtime. Oh, do you kill him here? Okay. So looks. Oh no. Okay, he died. But whenever you start getting points in illusion, it's important to start considering: can I jungle or should I give my support levels? Because often the best way to play with Naga is give her early levels so that he can start jungling, or she, I should say. All right, this TP's good.
Yeah, that makes sense because then my team
catch us up. Yeah,
because I'm able to get like a pretty equivalent farm on jungle. Yeah, Razor TPs to
exactly.
Me too.
Potentially even more. So okay, this is. You lost a little bit of XP there. Not the end of the world. I would say this is okay. So the Razor TPs to follow you, which is fine. Oh, you know the 2 split. Okay, I was gonna ask if you knew the 2 split, or do you?
I've been watching some pros. No, well, I was gonna go to the Ancients, but they were double stacked, and I didn't think I could do it with just the 2 of us.
Probably not. Yeah, the Razor runs that, you know. So, okay, actually, let's go back to this TP. I thought it was good at first, but the Razor made a good play. Usually, you'll get away with this, to be honest. where you'll TP away from danger and no one will follow you. You'll kind of get a gap, but the Razor makes the proper play and follows you to pressure your farm. And this is why often you don't want to have to TP to lanes if you don't have to. It's much better, and it actually is a much safer play now that I look back at it. I probably would have been able to point this out earlier if I was a carry player, but it's very dangerous to TP like that because good players, or I guess this Razor, because he died, that's the reason. Okay, I didn't realize. Yeah. But he died, so then he immediately sees you TP. Did he just preemptive? Oh, they had a ward. Okay, there you go. So the TPing kind of forces you into this awkward situation. Now, this is actually something to consider. I mean, I even learned, I guess, a little bit out of this, but especially as Naga, the ability to transition from lane to lane through the jungle is a lot safer, right? So basically, instead of immediately TPing, you could have just walked around, maybe farm this camp, but more importantly, farm this, and this, or maybe just these three on your way to mid. Hit mid, and then started walking towards top through the jungle, and then still had TP up, because this is kind of awkward for you, where another Razor's just gonna prevent you from taking a lane.
So basically the premise of like, that actually makes a lot of sense of like, instead of TPing, just farming your way to the new lane you want to go.
Yeah, it's something I say a lot about ganking, where the best way to gank for a lot of heroes, specifically heroes like Razor and Viper from the mid lane, who can farm the jungle, is that you gank based upon your farming patterns. It's just a lot safer. And in this situation, it's obviously not based on ganking, but you farm towards the safer lane. Now, if a double or triple wave is under tower here or coming in, of course. Yeah. You kind of have to make the judgment call. But it is really good to consider the other option of running or jungling in that direction so that you don't have to commit your TP. Because this is obviously not optimal to get run out by a Razor here. Now he's going to pressure you away from this wave. Yeah, and this kind of stinks. This is going to delay your farm quite a bit. Because basically at the 11 minute mark, you want to have 70 to 80 CS if you're having a good game. Now in this game, your CS is respectable, for sure. But
yeah, so I'd love to hear like the CS mark. So 70 80 is ideal at the minute mark.
Yeah, first off, what I would say for most heroes is at 10 minutes, optimal game is around 60, I would say, for most carries. Standard, I would say, is more so 50 is what you want to be going for the majority of carries. Of course, the higher the better.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wouldn't set a standard, but for a hero like Naga, it should be higher because you have like just such a great way to farm abilities. So you go Wraith Bands and Illusions. So you want to go for around, I would say at the 10 minute mark, if you were having a great game like 10, 30, 11, 70 CS, maybe 75, 80. Like if you're really going hard and a complete free farm. But yeah, I would go for like 11 minutes, 70 or 80 approximately. It's hard to say, but you definitely don't want to be 58 at 11:30. I know you had a hard lane, and some of it comes down to this TP actually. Now that we really look at it, but yeah, this is actually a lot better to farm for Naga because there's just more camps.
Yeah, it's harder for me to take infants too since they're stacked. Like I can take them once I get like my Yasha.
Yeah,
unfortunately. I think I might actually kill him now, but
yeah, it's hard for sure. It's unfortunate that they're stacked for Naga, but here you should be going mid, not stacking it again. Okay, Qualps there, I guess, but yeah, you actually did put yourself into somewhat of a funnel. I mean, this Razor made a good play to contest you. To be honest, I'm surprised he did this. Most of the time, you'll get away with this, but
no, it's good I got punished like that. That's
exactly.
The better players I play, like that's what.
Yeah. That's a good point. Exactly. So now.
No, because I remember this game. I remember the Razor TPing, and I was like, wait, that sucks. Because it made me like, because I wanted to TP bottom, and I was like, if I TP bottom, it's gonna do the same thing.
Exactly. Now the Sanking will run you out. So yeah, I'm really cool with this play they made. I think the Razor's doing this well, where he's actually giving his Sanking quite a bit of farm. He's still being inefficient. You can kind of tell he didn't take his ultimate, and he's not jungling, which is not really how you want to play Razor. It's why he's behind. You know, he's giga sacking his game to pressure, which is actually a big Razor mistake that I noticed within the majority of Razor players. But yeah, for you in particular, this is kind of weird. Definitely try to focus on these jungle areas, either Radiant. I'm sorry, this Dire over here, and then Radiant over here. I believe if we looked at a Pro Naga game, that would most likely be what they're taking.
Yeah.
But this is probably... I'm sorry, I wish I played more Naga to say exactly what it is, but this camp is probably fine if you can take Ancients. It's actually definitely fine if you can take Ancients. You kind of got, I guess, cucked, but overall,
Yeah.
I think that TP will work in most games. To be perfectly honest, but always keep it in the back of your mind. Farming towards lanes is a lot safer than directly TPing. Okay, this is good. A little late on that one, but
Yeah, the other one was late.
it's alright. Right idea. So here, you shouldn't really be fighting. This is where you'd want to more so be like top or hardcore bottom. Probably top, though. Because bottom is going to have wards and it's where they're fighting. But you're really not in fighting shape yet as Naga. I mean, like, you can show up, but typically your hero's somewhat weak at this point in the game. Or relatively, compared to where you go. And your spike is a little bit later on, as you know, right? Like, the Naga spike is typically your second or third big item. Whether it's like Diffusal Manta, Heart, or Diffusal Manta, Butterfly. Some people do go Butterfly. But yeah, you're being a little bit inefficient here. And basically, I would strive for around 15 to have at least 120 CS, something like that. It's not really great to have CS goals because so many games of Dota change a lot.
Yeah, it's situational, yeah.
Yeah, but as a base value, strive for like at least 120, maybe 130. For Naga, did you by chance get to watch the Nisha Naga performance in the ESL 1 Birmingham finals game? Secret between EG?
I think I watched it, but not like in depth. Like,
okay, yeah, I would recommend that. He farmed. I think he was the fastest of the tournament. Now he was mid, but still, check out his farming patterns, and like when he actually comes online and when he fights. I think that would be a great game. You might have to look it up on Dota Buff because I don't believe ESL 1 Birmingham comes up in the watch tab, unfortunately. Like some do, but
yeah, no, that'd be awesome. That's good to know because because a lot of time, because actually that makes a lot of sense. Because I generally try to pick like Nagas that go safe lane, right? Because I'm like, oh, I want to watch them the whole time. But it makes sense where like no matter what lane they go, they're gonna do probably similar mid game farming
relative,
patterns.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, because your timing's late here for sure. Like you want to get Manta probably around more so like 16 if you're Giga farmed. 17's okay, but I would say 16's probably much better. I think people get it at 15 a lot in the pro scene as well, if I'm not mistaken. Unfortunately, this is not my best hero, so I don't know the timings in and out, but
you know, it's okay. I mean, like, I already have had like a big takeaway. The whole farming, not TPing, the farming to your.
What I would say at 20 minutes, most carries, like the average carry, like a troll or Jug, I would say aim around for 150. For Naga, I would say you want to aim for 200 or 220, around the 20-minute mark. Because, I mean, you just farm so fast, like, period. So you really want to push your limit. You need to have, like, at least 200 by 20, minimum, in my opinion. Which you're definitely not going to hit this game. So really try to watch that Nisha replay if you can find it. I don't know exactly where it is. Probably you can find it on Dota Buff. This farming pattern and farming rate will get you up to a certain rank in Immortal, but eventually you need to be able to hit giga hard spikes by just farming faster than everyone else. And then at that point, like, because people are often like, oh, well, I farm fast, but my team is feeding. Well, you need to farm even faster to carry those games. So, in this game in particular, because even this seems inefficient to me. Why is this inefficient?
What I just did.
Yeah.
I should have sent my 2 illusions to the far camp, the one close to mid lane, because basically it's making it so that both my guys have to run faster. Because they could have killed the far camp closer to mid and then cleared the wave, and then I could have cleared the camp that the double illusion just cleared.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's a good point. You could have sent the illusions here, but more so, it's what can you do next? Like, what's your next move? What is it? Mid maybe? But Dark Willow's farming that, and you want her to get her level 12. So really, I think, like, I didn't really watch everything that came up to this point, but optimally, you want to be, at this point, top away from your team. Basically, if your team is top, you probably want to be bottom. If your team's bottom, you probably want to be top. That's usually how heroes like Naga go, or Illusion heroes. You want to be on the opposite side of the map, shoving in the lanes aggressively. Like, basically, this should always be shoved. And then you should take this camp, this camp, this camp, this camp, this camp. It's very natural, right? And then when these respawn, you take it and you walk back up, this camp, this camp, this camp. But when you farm this, it's like you can go.
3 or 4 camps.
There's not a nearby lane. Exactly. Like especially if Willow's farming mid. So you take mid from her, which is alright, I guess. As long as she gets the XP. But you shift your way back towards top. But you're missing a few waves here and there, or at least a few creeps. So, okay, now you go mid. Like, I don't like this. You know what I mean? Like, you're moving away from the main source of farm here, which is this top area, after mid gets shoved in. It's okay if you send 2 illusions and shove in mid, but I think your overall movement needs to be towards, like, the far side of the map. Because you're missing this. Now Quap's taking it, which is just, like,
it's basically pushing to the tower. Someone has to.
Yeah, someone should have done it, and it could have been you a lot earlier. So really try to play the opposite side of the map and always keep that shoved in. It's just a lot more efficient in the majority of games. All right. I mean, it's barely worth it for you to run under here if you get the kill. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, this looks bad. Are you probably gonna die here, right?
Yeah. I think maybe I should have just killed her with my illusions and ran out.
Yeah, but you probably shouldn't have been there in the first place. Like, once again, honestly, what I say for carries is basically never show up to fights. Like until you hit your timing. If you're extremely good, you can make those type of things work, like where you engage, disengage, and really make the perfect calls. And that's something to practice. Like here, as you said, maybe send your illusions. But really, you want to get to that point where just you're stronger than everyone else. And as Naga is so good at that. That's why Naga is just brutal in solo queue. You can get to 7k with this hero easily. If you just really get down her farming patterns. Because in this game, you've just been quite inefficient. You have this one death, and you're delaying your timings. I would say you need at least like 70 more CS at this point, or 60. And that a lot of that comes down to the fact that you got contested top, which I guess was Razor's play. But then a lot of this like inefficient farming where you're farming away from the lane and into your team. And it kind of restricts your team as well. You kind of have to look at it that way too. If you're shoving in the lane next to your teammates, you're not only denying, I mean, you're not only not increasing your farm, but you're also constricting the map for a hero like Willow. You know what I mean? Willow can't go split push as effectively as you, because she can get Sanking stunned or
I'm taking the safe farm, which I shouldn't be doing.
Exactly.
Get the aggressive farm.
Yep.
Whereas they can the safe one.
And to be straight, this is often the safest farm on the map. Honestly, like the enemy side of the map over here.
Yeah, because they're not there.
They're often on the other side, or you can, especially if you have a ward down on Shrine, which is something I request all the time when I'm playing off lane. Like Lesh, for instance. You know how I said you want to just book it down the lane? I'll basically always buy a Shrine ward for myself, or have my support do it.
That's smart.
Because that's like the only way they gank you from that area. Let's go back to player perspective.
I should have TP'd to a Shrine.
You should have TP'd bottom, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is okay. So it's okay to be bottom here, right? Your team's top, it's fine. Like, this makes sense. This is more efficient, right? Because now you can kind of head back bottom with your next set of illusions. Or mid. Mid's fine, too. You should probably even do both.
I think that's what I try to do.
Looks like you're doing, yeah. Okay, yeah, good. Focus the wave. This is fine. They're all dead. Okay. As long as you get out here. Yeah, so that's pretty good. I mean, that was a good collapse on mid. You always want to shove in the waves if you're ever going to push them like that. So even in that situation, I would have considered sending an illusion towards bot and prepping for the next cut. You know what I mean? Like right here, if you have one bot, that's going to increase farm and then push in the wave. So always try to be thinking, if you're in the middle of the map, that's really nice for you as well, like at these points in the game, because you can get illusion in each wave, and there's almost no way they stop that, and it's the best way to farm, because at this point your illusions are strong enough to solo waves.
Yeah. So a lot of times will people
because this is not good
at once, or is it two generally?
Usually it's just it's two different lanes usually.
Like late game, they can.
Depends on the hero, right? This is more for illusion heroes. For Naga and TB, you can cut 2 waves. For Darkseer, you can cut 2 waves if you have a Helm Dom. For Jug, maybe if you have Manta, but usually then you're just cutting 1 wave.
Just one,
yeah, or you'll shove a wave to tower and then run mid, something like that.
So
but this is not good.
No, so that's what I was gonna ask. You don't like the illusions getting the tower here?
I mean, I don't think you need all of them. Like, you can send 1 mid and then basically get the next wave, as well as get the tower. I mean, and even if you don't get the tower, like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like,
so because that's what I was afraid of. Like, I didn't want to get it denied.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want. I mean, sure. Yeah, sure. You don't want to get denied, but like, if you can do the math where that extra illusion's gonna get the tower or not, then yeah. I mean, I guess if you're that good, you know what I mean. But I'd rather you make the safer play of cutting mid as well, which is like what, another 250 gold for you.
Yeah.
Than Giga securing the tower. I mean,
that makes sense. Because how much gold do you lose with the deny?
It's quite a. I don't know the exact number. I think it's around like 500. It's quite a lot. Okay. But the thing is, like, I'm saying, the main point is you don't know if that extra illusion is going to cost you the tower, or secure it, I should say.
Yeah.
It's just a better play the majority of the time to focus on cutting another wave and keeping your farm up. Because once again, your goal here needs to be to just like always be 5k ahead of the next hero, in my opinion. You should always be, like, you could easily have 20, 21, 22k net worth right now if you didn't have that 1 death and you focus more on creep cutting and playing like the proper lanes, which I can't obviously cover all now. That's pretty hard, but
no, this has still been helping a lot. Yeah.
That's why you need to watch like a Nisha replay. I mean, like, people like Nisha and Ramses, those type of replays will show you like where you need to be at every single point in every single game. Okay, now the game's basically over, right? So yeah, your Naga is definitely good enough to win basically all of these games. But as like a top 50, top 100 carry, you're not at that point yet. Like, you'd be a little bit too slow, where you'd get punished, or you'd get ganked one too many times. And I always want that carry player on my team who's reliable and gonna hit his item timings, rather than the one who like shows up to 1 or 2 ganks and potentially makes it work, like, or makes it work half the time. You know what I mean? Gotcha. I'd rather the Naga, who I know is gonna hit her item timings.
That actually is really good to know, because
yeah, it's easy. It's easy to show up to fights. I'm sorry. It's easy to split push. It's very hard to show up to fights and like make that work, especially as a hero like Naga.
It's like it's a much more risky play.
Yeah,
where, like, of course it can pay off, and situationally, of course, it could be good.
Exactly.
Like, just being like it's guaranteed value versus like potential value.
Exactly. Yeah, and often the potential value is the same as the guaranteed. Like, no joke, it's the same. Besides, I guess, potentially your team's overall net worth if they do die.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's solid. Hopefully, you can watch a Nisha replay on your free time. I would really recommend that. I mean, that guy's insane.
Yeah.
But
I kind of want to watch that right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he had like 300 CS at 25 or something like that. I don't know, something bonkers. But
So who do you think's the best carry player in the world? Or like, who do you think are some of the best?
That's a hard question. Definitely Ramses. Ramses, Arteezy, Nisha. I mean, all the top team carry players. There's no way you could exclude any of them. But I've heard that Ramses also wait, who's the LGD one? Ame, he's super good as well. Any of them, like,
watching any of the replays is good. Yeah.
Yeah, they're so good. Like, in those games, if you have a good lane and as an offlaner and you make enough space for them, that they're eventually going to carry you. Like, that's the strength of those players. They will carry you at some point in the game. If obviously there's not another carry player doing the same exact thing, which in solo queues, yeah.
I just posted. Do you want to check your Discord? I just posted the YouTube video. Is that the correct one? Does that look like the correct comps?
Second. Yeah, that is. Okay. Yeah, that's the fun. I don't know. Is it from his perspective?
Yeah, it looks like it is. When I was playing it, it looked like it was his perspective.
Okay.
So
yeah, if it doesn't, but it's also good to be able to watch it in client, because you can kind of see what's going on around. It's easier to see what's going on around the map, and you can free camera to different parts of the map, and stuff like that.
Do you prefer in client? Because I was gonna say I've only like done it with like YouTube.
Yeah, no, in client is much better, because you can. It's much easier to check different stats and check other players, because like honestly it's very important at some point as well to start comparing their gameplay to what's going on in their teammates as well. You know what I mean? Often their decision making will rely around their allied heroes. Like if they have a Leshrac, maybe they'll push a different wave than if they have a Quap. Like all these things eventually matter if you get to a certain level.
Yeah.
But for now, I actually not for now. Yeah, just watching client if you can find it. Often Dota buff and Open Dota will be a good way. And if you haven't heard of Dota Pro Tracker, that's another fantastic resource.
What is it? Dota
Pro Tracker? Yeah, it shows you like their Smurf games, because often in Dota buff you can only see their like competitive games for whatever reason, and that will let you search up any hero and watch any pro that played it recently. It's really, really nice.
Okay, that's super nice. Let me see if I can watch Speeeed, dude.
Unfortunately not. One day. All right, well, it's been a pleasure. I'm gonna head out.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really do. Dude, if you ever want to do this again, I'm always down, by the way.
Yep, for sure. All right, GG, good luck in your games.
All right, GG. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.